All right, welcome back. Things are starting to get a little messy for good old New York, right? How about the government-run grocery stores, which we covered on the show a couple days ago? Well, they're on the way. Pied-à-terre tax on homes worth more than $1 million. That's starting to happen. And the extra tax does not apply, though, if the owner or an immediate family member lives there as a primary residence, right? Or even if it's rented out to a resident of New York under a lease of 1 year or longer. So that's the little catch there. But this week, the New York City Department of Finance added a little bit of fuel to the fire and sparked a massive public backlash and safety concerns after publishing an easily searchable, aggregated online database containing the full names and home addresses of nearly 916,000 residents. The critics say that security experts and political opponents claim that the database acts as a public rich-to-be-taxed map, putting homeowners at risk of targeted harassment or left-wing political violence. What are they doing? In this day and age, when political violence is on the upswing, this behavior is dangerous. The mayor is on some shaky ground here, if you ask me, and I'd like to get the thoughts of our next guest on this. Please welcome to the show, Dale Smothers, coming to us from Kentucky. Thanks for being on the show, brother. Really appreciate it. He's the founder and CEO of the RDS Wealth Management. Okay. This is the bottom line. We're doing this on a money show because there's a lot of money involved here. We're talking about tax on $1 million. They're going to phase that out, and it's slowly but surely supposed to move up to $5 million. I will take a bet here on air with you right now that they don't do that, and it stays at $1 million, and they just have everybody under the tax. But that's just me. I'm a little skeptical. But what's really out of order is publishing all the people that own places over $1 million in New York, which is 960,000, because $1 million for a place in New York is not that much compared to the rest, compared to everything else. So what do you think about this doxing, this list, and what they're doing with this tax?
It's absolutely absurd, Scott. I think there are really two separate issues here, and we need to make sure we don't mix those two together. First, it's the tax itself. The tax itself is something that you can certainly debate, whether or not that tax should be implied on those who have a second home in New York. That's one thing. But to say that we're going to make a list of those who have property values over $1 million, that's an entirely different thing. And there are going to be people that support the tax and go ahead with this list and realize that that list was a mistake from the very beginning. History tells us, Scott, that you don't make lists of innocent people. Unless they have egregiously broke the law, they shouldn't belong on a list. And this is a dangerous precedent that this is setting, because today, Scott, it's property values over $1 million. But who's to say that tomorrow it's not a social score, or maybe it's a wealth that you have accumulated, a net worth, or maybe even worse, it's a religious preference. These lists are dangerous and they must be stopped. You would think any leader who is looking to unite the country, instead of segmenting and segregating certain sects and even wealth divisions in our country, you would look for an opportunity to bring something together, as opposed to drawing a line that's even harder in the sand between those who have and have not. This is just unbelievable to hear and to see in America.
Yeah, and it's just it's dangerous in this day and age to point that out, because yes, there could be some harassment, and God forbid any public violence. Number one. Another thing is this. I'm not sure if the tax is on top of real estate tax. I think it is. But then that's egregious, number one, on itself. But number two, this idea of taxing your net worth, your portfolio, that's just plain outright stealing. That's not earned income. There was no capital gains. They're just trying to steal that, and they say it's going to be a one-off. No, it's not going to be a one-off. So can you imagine every year being taxed on top of your already earned income tax or your capital gains tax, the value of your portfolio, of your estate? I mean, that is, and there's going to be some support, which is crazy. This is what the Democratic Socialists of America, they don't think you should have double-digit returns on profits. I'm sure you've seen that clip. This is getting out of hand, and it's going, if they don't do something about it now, it's going to flow downhill to the average everyday man. You might think today it doesn't concern you, but it will.
It's exactly right. Today, we might get behind taxing the wealthy, but at what point does that wealthy line, that line of wealth, come down to the everyday man? This is the precedent in America that we cannot set. The power to tax is also the power to destroy. And I'm telling you, this socialistic agenda, you can call it democratic socialism if you want to, it's socialism. It is cancerous. And if we don't stop it, we will live to regret it. I'm going to tell you, in New York, we have clients that work in New York, that live in New York. High net worth, high earners in New York are already paying over 55% by the time they do their federal tax,
yes,
they do their state tax, and they do their local tax. When is enough enough? The power to tax is the power to destroy, and socialistic agendas are meant to destroy the everyday man with the promises of safety. If you give up liberty for safety, you're worthy of neither one, Scott.
Smells like the pandemic, if you ask me. Thank you very much, Dale, for coming
100%.
on. Dale Smothers, he's with RDS Wealth in Bowling Green,
Good to
Kentucky.
see you.